Hello everybody and welcome to Cryptos Are Life. I'm going to be going over a basic tutorial for a lot of beginners that have been giving a lot of questions. Everyone that I speak to, everyone's getting pretty familiar with how to buy Bitcoin, Litecoin, or any of your major coins, really through Coinbase, but a lot of people are still asking how to get into Ripple or Tron or any of the altcoins such as those it can get rather confusing a lot of times for people that are not really too technical savvy or people that are really just entering the space. So I'm going to make a basic tutorial, kind of a step-by-step guide here on how to get your Bitcoin or Ethereum onto another exchange where you can buy trading pairs for altcoins that whether altcoin be Ripple, Tron, or Neo, or anything else that you might be getting interested in, how to get your money to those exchanges and purchase your altcoins and kind of know how to move around those exchanges as well. So if you're not familiar yet on how to purchase your first Bitcoin or Ethereum, I use Coinbase. It's US-based exchange. It's relatively simple, relatively straightforward. And we'll go ahead and start with that. You're going to want to first, if you haven't already, register for Coinbase. When you initially register with them, they're going to ask you to verify your account with some IDs and form of photos and whatnot. After that, it's relatively simple. So go ahead and get that process started if you haven't. If you haven't got a Coinbase account yet, I got a link down below that will give you a referral link. It'll give you free $10 of Bitcoin as well as me, so it's kind of like a win-win type of deal. Or if you don't feel comfortable with that, just go to Coinbase and register. It's a really safe, secure site. Once you've got that established, you'll go ahead and log into your Coinbase account, and it's going to look a lot like this platform here once you're in it. I don't really keep any currencies on here because I always transfer mine over to Binance, which is one of the most popular exchanges for altcoins. So I'll go ahead and go through the process once you're logged in here. Once you're logged in, you're going to want to first add a funding source. You can do checking accounts or debit cards or credit cards. I think there's been a little problem recently with credit cards. I wouldn't really recommend buying any type of crypto on credit card anyhow. Remember, you're going to want to always just never overextend yourself, especially if you're just getting started. I always recommend to the people that are just getting started to always start with a small amount of money, something that you can feel comfortable with, getting used to the platforms, how to transfer it to Binance, how to buy altcoins with it, how to sell your altcoins with it. With just a small amount of money, not necessarily what you intend to be investing, but something so that you can still just get familiar with the platforms and with the movements of what you're doing and gain your confidence in that first before you put any type of significant money that would mean anything to you. I think it just makes it a lot less stressful for when you're going to be putting more money in there. You're already familiar with what you're doing and how you're moving it around at least. So I always recommend doing that. You can go to your settings and then your funding sources and add. It'll prompt you how to what types of funding sources you want to add. I put a checking account and a debit card. Initially, I believe they're going to cap your deposit amounts until your account's about 30 days old, and then let you start doing more. But initially, getting started, that's probably a pretty good little safeguard, just so that you can really get familiar with what's going on and what you're doing. So once you've added your funding sources, essentially what you would do is you'd come to buy and sell. And you would then select which cryptocurrency you wanted to buy initially. If you're going to be transferring it over to another exchange like Binance to be able to buy your Ripple and your XRP, I always go with Ethereum. I like doing Ethereum. The transfer times from Coinbase to another exchange, whether it be Binance or Cryptopia or KuCoin, it seems to be much quicker for Ethereum. For instance, if I buy some Ethereum and transfer it to one of my other exchanges, the transfer time is maybe about 10 to 15 minutes, and the rates are pretty good. If I do Bitcoin, it's been a little bit since I've actually transferred Bitcoin. I've been doing a lot of Ethereum. Last time it took 6 or 7 hours before it hit another exchange. And I mean, in crypto time, that's a lot. A whole lot could change in the coin you're looking to buy by the time your Bitcoin even gets to that exchange. So essentially what you'd want to do is you'd click Ethereum. You would then select right here your payment method. I've got a few payment methods on there. I'm not going to click them. I don't want to show too much information on there. But then you'd come down here and enter the amount in fiat cash dollars, how much you wanted to buy. if you click buy max, that's going to be the maximum amount that it's currently set your limit at for the time being. And then you would just simply click buy Ethereum, and it would then buy that amount of Ethereum. If you're doing it with a debit card, I believe it's instantly. If you're doing it with a checking account, it was that it used to make you wait a few days on a new account. Like for instance, right here, it's still doing it. I guess for since the funding source is a checking account, they want to make sure it clears. Today's the 17th, and they're telling me it would be available on the 21st if I paid with my checking account. So there's other options. I mean, if you're going to want to be doing a larger deposit down the road, where you can wire it to them and it'll make it available even sooner, because it has to be available in your account on here on Coinbase before you can transfer it to another exchange. Essentially what they're talking about here being available on the 21st is whatever, if you did your purchase now for this amount, you'd be buying Ethereum at $850.13 at the moment, but you wouldn't actually have it available to either sell and turn back into cash or to transfer to another exchange until the 21st. And that really kind of sucks, because there could be a lot of price movement, whether it be down or up, that you'd maybe want to sell for a profit or sell to cut your losses, but that you wouldn't be able to do until the 21st. You'd be stuck in at this price until your coins were available on the 21st, and so you're essentially be held hostage until the 21st to the price and the price movement. So I especially for the smaller amounts, I think when you initially start, your limit on your debit card would be like $100 or something like that. It's a good way to get your feet wet and learn the platforms and get familiar with the systems, how they work, and what you're doing. So just for demonstration's sake, let's go ahead and say we purchased the Ethereum here. We'd go back. Let me see here. Let me go ahead and just purchase just a small amount of Ethereum just for the sake of the demonstration here. So let's just say I'm going to use a debit card here. I'll purchase just a small amount of Ethereum. We would buy Ethereum instantly. We'd confirm the buy, and see it's $1.49 on the commission from them. So it's not too bad, but I mean it's going to really be standard across the board of what the commission rates would be looking like. I don't really have another exchange that you'd be able to turn fiat into crypto at a better rate. They're pretty much one of the only options, really. So let's say you'd go ahead and go back to the dashboard after purchasing your Ethereum. So you see now we just have a little bit of Ethereum in there, and again, I don't keep anything on here. I always just transfer it over to Binance. I'm big on Tron. I have some Ripple, but I'm a big believer in Tron. I have a significant stake in Tron. And remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just what I do and my thoughts. But so now we've got some Ethereum in here, and we want to put it into something. So essentially what we'd then do is we'd go to one of the better exchanges I use, and a lot of people. It's been, I believe, one of the top 3, if not the top 1 exchanges for quite some time now, as far as for altcoins and everything like that. They've recently had some downtime, but they were really open with it, and they were really kept everybody informed. Is Binance. And again, I do have a referral link under the video in the description here. For Binance, if you use that link to sign up for an account, if you don't already have one, again, you get like $5 of Bitcoin, and I would get like $5 of Bitcoin. So it's another little perk. I mean, we're not here for a couple bucks, but it is something. So essentially, once you're on Binance here, if you're, am I signed in already? Yes, I'm already signed in already. So if you're new to Binance, you sign up either through a referral link or through one of through your own Binance.com link there, whatnot. As long as you get registered, that's really all that matters. At that point, you'd sign in. It again would ask you to verify with an ID and a photo. As soon as you register, I believe it'll let you start depositing and trading right away. But the verification process is really to increase your withdrawal limits, so that way you can withdraw more per day, and essentially that is what we're here for, right? To hopefully have to withdraw large amounts soon. So you do want to get that done. So we did get some Ethereum. What we would then do to transfer our Ethereum over to Binance, because Binance, you cannot put cash into Binance. It will have to be deposited either through Bitcoin or Ethereum for you to be able to purchase your altcoins. So once you're logged into your Binance, this is just going to be your basic homepage here. We would go to funds, and then we would go to deposits. And this is where a lot of people kind of get confused. Right here, you're going to want to go to select what coin you're depositing to get that address for that coin. So if we were to type in right here, select coin deposits, ETH, there's Ethereum. And there's our Ethereum address. We copy that address. It is very crucial that if you are depositing Ethereum, you are depositing to your Ethereum address on Binance. You don't want to buy Ethereum on Coinbase and then deposit it to your Bitcoin address on Binance. It probably won't get there. It'll give you an error. You're going to want to either, if you're buying Ethereum on Coinbase, deposit the Ethereum to your Ethereum address on Binance. If you're buying Bitcoin on Coinbase, or if you already have Bitcoin somewhere, deposit your Bitcoin to your Bitcoin address here on Binance. It would be on BTC. That would give you your Bitcoin address. So for the purposes of the video here, here's Ethereum, and there's my Ethereum address. I copied it, and now I'm going to go back on over to Coinbase, and then I'm going to go to my Ethereum wallet. It's going to be over here actually under accounts. And then my Ethereum wallet right there, it has a couple bucks in there. We would then click send, and then I paste over my Ethereum address that I used, that I just copied from Binance. And then for the amount right here, I'll just send max. I'll send it all, no big deal. Continue, confirm, and there my Ethereum is on its way. So it usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes before said Ethereum is deposited to Binance, and you will actually receive an email from Binance once that. Let me go ahead and close this out here. Once that has been sent, you will receive a confirmation email from Binance saying that that deposit has been successfully received and is now available or whatnot. So you would then be able to go to you can go check deposits. And then it'll eventually start showing you right here within the next couple of minutes, so that that it's checking it and that it's verifying the deposit. And a few minutes thereafter, it would then be made available. Once it has been made available, you'll be able to go to exchange. I always go to advanced. There's basic and advanced. I mean, you're going to want to eventually begin learning your platforms and getting comfortable with your platforms. And they can look a little intimidating at first until you really get the flow of it and the hang of it. Then it just becomes like second nature. But initially, you do want to kind of take your time on your exchange, get familiar with it before going in there and just trying to order or buy anything, and really get a feel for what's going on here. So you would then find the trading pair that you are looking to buy. But what I mean by trading pair is if you're looking for Tron or TRX, you would essentially come here and you would then type in TRX. Okay, and see right here up top how I have BTC. That would be right here would be my TRX BTC trading pair. And what that means is that I'd be buying TRX Tron with Bitcoin. However, we just deposited Ethereum. So we would not be able, if we were to come here and try to purchase it, it would tell us not available or funds not available or whatnot because you don't have any Bitcoin. So you can't buy Tron with Bitcoin. You would come to the ETH trading pair right here, and there we go. There is TRX Ethereum trading pair. So we could click on this one here. And this would be our basic candlestick chart. We're not going to really be getting into that video if you're still not familiar with charts or need information on charts. I might be doing a video on one maybe later in the week on kind of reading charts and whatnot. I'm not too much of a technical analysis guy, but it is good to know the basic fundamentals of a chart. I mean, you definitely don't want to just buy a coin blindly. You want to know its history, where it's going, and somewhat kind of have a feeling of what the chart looks like. I don't get too in depth in the technical analysis, but I do some of the fundamentals just to kind of have a feel on that on that end of it. I'm more of a long-term investor. I want to make sure I'm not buying at the absolute top, but I'm more of something that I'm not really looking to buy and sell within minutes or even days. I like to hold for a while before making any type of sell-offs or anything like that. I mean, unless it just absolutely spikes overnight or something, I'll sell it off. But for the most part, let's just go ahead and get back to, I don't want to get too off track here. Let's go ahead and get back to actually buying your Tron in Ethereum. So you're going to look at right here. We'll give you your chart. You can change it one day. You can go to 1 minute. You can move the chart around, whatnot. But for the sake of buying your Tron and getting your Tron for this particular example, we would say your sell orders right here and the cost of this each of the sell orders with the size of the sell orders, and then same down here for the buy orders. But essentially, this is the current price that it's being traded at, about 4 cents. So what you'd then be able to do is submit your order, and essentially what you do by that is you'd go ahead and click, depending if you wanted to use all the money that you sent in Ethereum, then you would be able to just hit 100%. The deposit hasn't cleared yet, so it's still telling me 0. But if you wanted to do maybe just half of it and then the other half on another altcoin, then you would just click 50%. So basically what these are indicating is how much of your available Ethereum do you want to purchase worth of Tron at this price. So I don't want to get into buying strategies and everything like that right now. I'm just essentially showing you the basics, the ropes, how to get in. Just if you could just hit subscribe and turn on that bell notification. Give this video a like if you're enjoying it, and you'll get notifications to my new videos that'll be coming out. And I will be getting more in depth through the process and explaining it a little bit more. This is pretty much just a general introductory guide on how to get into another exchange that has altcoins. And how to acquire those altcoins. But once you start getting a little bit more advanced and start looking into additional buying strategies and wanting to learn different movements and patterns, I'll be coming out with those types of videos as well. This is just a very basic introductory class for the people that are barely learning about crypto and wanting to learn how to get into all these cool altcoins they're hearing about, and they're freaking out because they're not on Coinbase, so they don't know how to buy them. So basically, the amount of TRX that you're willing to use of the Ethereum available, and click buy. You will then have it show up right here in your open orders, and you'll see it fill or stay empty. If it shows like 0% out of 100 still not filled in like 5 minutes or whatnot, you can cancel it and then just refresh your screen here and then put in another buy order. Tron's a really high volume coin, so if you're buying it at a price close to what they're asking for here, it normally gets filled pretty quickly, pretty much instantaneously. But if you have any questions or any input, please feel free to leave any types of comments on the videos or any questions. I'd love to answer them. And again, please subscribe and like the video, and we will see you the next time around.